Welcome to Distortion Analysis, where each episode we discuss various topics, music news, bands on tour, and share album reviews all focused on heavy metal. Here are your hosts, Sean McKnight and William Rizzo. All right, we are here for episode 8 of Distortion Analysis.
We are at 8 already.
8. We're almost up to double digits.
This is a milestone.
It is. Actually, it kind of is. I don't know if you realize this or not, but the average podcast runs about 7 episodes.
What?
Yeah. When people start podcasts, they think they're going to be rich and famous like after the first episode or whatever. And then when they're not, because that rarely happens, when they're not, they're like, oh, this is like work. And then I don't want to do this anymore because it's not easy and I'm not rich and famous after the first 2 episodes. And then they back. So that's, because they realize they don't like the editing and they don't have to deal with all the bullshit and then have to pay for the hosting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they just bail. So it's around 7 episodes is the average amount of podcasts. So we're already past.
Wow, we made it over the hump.
Already. Yeah. How about that?
Cool. We still haven't even cursed all the curses we're going to curse.
I know. We have so much cursing left to do. Hey, what's that guitar in the background, the red one? I don't know if I've seen that one before. What the hell is that?
That is a Guild X79.
Is that a Guild? Oh yeah. There it is in the headstock. I can't see it now.
Yeah, this is
cool.
This is
wow.
I think this is an 82.
I was gonna say, what year is that? It's an 82. No kidding.
They don't make them anymore.
That's a cool body, man.
Very polarizing shape. A lot of people don't like them.
Is that right? Because of the shape?
Yeah, they're just.
I like the shape.
Too awkward, but yeah, man, this thing is great. I swapped out the pickups. So
how's it play?
Oh, it's like butter, man, and it's light. It's like a 6-pound guitar.
Oh wow, no kidding. It looks heavier.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm totally into it. And
beautiful guitar.
Plugged into Moi.
Wow, look at that.
This is my JCM 900 Master Volume combo, which I just got back from my Amp Tech.
What was wrong with it?
It actually pots, like volume pots, so you would try to turn a volume knob.
Oh.
And it would just be like
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a little crackling, it was a lot.
Oh, okay.
So
shout out
to
Did he replace them or what?
Yeah, he replaced the pots.
Okay.
The amp came with 2 brand new tubes. Well, it was like new old stock. That I guess he had a couple of extra tubes and he just put them in the back. So when I got it, I was like, oh wow. I didn't, know that I was getting tubes with this. So when I took it to the tech, I'm like, can you just replace the tubes? Because this is like a 1991 amp. Yeah. And I'm like, I have no idea how old those tubes are. And he's like, let's just replace them. So the tubes got replaced, the filter caps, the pots got replaced, the tubes. And now it's just a fucking shred machine, man. I just can't believe how good it sounds.
Who did you want to plug on that?
What's that?
Who did you want to plug on that?
Oh, shout out to Ron Mearsan in Philadelphia on Staten Avenue, man. It's the Amp Shop, I think is the name of his place.
Cool.
Yeah, he has been doing it for decades. And I just found him actually because I had a guy that was local by me here in Jersey and he did an awful job with my JCM 2000. And I'm like, man, I got to find somebody else to do this stuff. And I just happened to find him and he got good reviews and he had the amp maybe 2.5 weeks and came by.
Right on.
Picked it up.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Plug for the amp guy. All right. All right. So I guess that will move us then into the topic of the podcast.
Do it.
All right. So this episode's topic is politics and metal. Do they go together or do people just want the escape? Now, I want to preface this for our listeners that are cringing right now going, oh shit, they're going to talk about politics. Yes and no. We're not going to get into the politics in terms of policy and all that bullshit. We're not getting into that. What we are going to talk about, though, is how politics affect metal and the music industry in general and that kind of stuff without getting into the actual political crap itself, because God knows nobody wants to listen to that right now.
So, and there's plenty of it out there.
There's plenty of it out there. Yeah, you guys don't need us for that shit. So there's plenty of that out there already. So, and, we have our own opinions. But that's the deal. So here's some examples that I had here kind of listed, like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine called out Kristi Noem for using Nazi language. So that was one of the things he got involved with. The Dropkick Murphys, of course, released a new anti-ice song. The new Lamb of God album, Into Oblivion, is largely about the country right now. And Randy Blythe has been very open and honest about how he feels about
Yeah,
politics
yes.
and things. Yeah. Interestingly, of course, Surge from System of a Down also political, but the drummer is MAGA. So you have the opposite ends of the spectrum there within the same
Yeah,
band. And then
yeah.
also the thing that makes that extra awkward is that the drummer is married to Surge's sister. So he's his
Oh,
brother-in-law on top of it.
imagine those
So
Thanksgiving dinners.
yeah, I was gonna say the holiday. I'm sure the holidays conversations are very interesting. I'm sure. So you have all that mixed in, and then you also have more recent controversy with the Dead Kennedys as they pulled out of the Punk in the Park event when that event was discovered to be run by some guy, another guy, MAGA guy,
Yeah.
and then the more another recent thing I read about was that the band Dogma was supposed to tour here in the U.S. but due to the recent kind of visa complications with immigration and all that, they couldn't come into the country. So they couldn't come in here without complications, and there was fear, I guess, of what was going to happen. And there's other bands that are kind of backing away from touring here for the same reasons.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? So, there's just some of the topics I threw out there, but sorry to vomit that on your
Well,
face.
well, I mean, I think I already told you several back that I went to go see Master last summer, and they were supposed to
That's right.
co-headline with Sinister.
Sinister, yeah.
And Sinister wasn't able to come into the country because of the visa issues that were going on at the time due to the administration's bungling of handling visa requests because they were over scrutinizing every little
Oh, yeah, yeah.
thing to, investigate whether or not they had any ties to, anti-American sentiments or anything. And anybody who was there was even a whisper of, gee, America kind of sucks right now. Sorry,
Yeah.
you come in.
Yep, yep.
So they were a victim of that, and it has real world effects. I paid for a ticket for a band that I never got to see.
Yeah, see, there it is. So, I mean, like, no matter how much we want to avoid it and we don't want to talk about it, which is, understandable. But at the same time, though, you can't avoid it
Yeah,
because, right, there's an example where it affected you going to a show because you couldn't go to the show because, of course, the band couldn't make it, through the
that's
whole
right.
visa process. Yeah. So, no matter what, I think it impacts us in different ways. I guess one of the things I was thinking about with it was because I see different fans falling on different sides of the fence on this. And one of the things I saw recently was that a lot of people were giving Randy Blythe shit for talking out about like the stuff he
Oh
was saying
yeah,
recently. So and he's like, well, grow a pair and like you should say something. You should be political. You should jump in here and pay attention. So, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on that. Do you think bands should push that kind of thing, or is it more like should bands just provide the escape from that kind of thing, or should it be a mixture of both? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it depends on the person and what they want to get out of the music. But I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, I guess, what as somebody who's been in bands yourself, what you feel
yeah.
the responsibility of the band is.
It's a tough call, but it's also not a tough call because if that is what is in your heart as an artist, then it's going to come out. And you wouldn't be true to yourself as the artist if you were blocking major emotions that were drivers for your work product. So if that's what you're feeling and going through at the time, put something out there. This whole environment is very different than it was 30, 40 years ago, obviously, where you now have a back and forth with your fan base that you didn't have
Mm,
largely before.
yeah, that's a good
Your
point.
only fan feedback was at the shows.
Right.
So if there was enough of a consensus that you sucked, you found out at the show, right? But there was
That's
no,
so
there was
true.
no, yeah, there was no online backlash
Yeah.
where people were, dogging your politics, your political stance, and all that shit. So how many times have I mentioned Napalm Death in this podcast already, right?
Yeah.
I keep bringing them up because they're relevant on multiple different levels. They've always been political.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
don't think that everybody at their shows is driven by their political interests and views. as much as they are like music. I know because I'm one of them, right? So I
Right.
didn't go to their show to make a political statement. I went because I enjoyed their music.
Right.
And yeah, I dig some of the messages, the anti-authoritarianism, the anti-fascism. I mean, that just like naturally gels with who I am as a person. But you never had that kind of back and forth like you do where everybody online now has a pulpit, right?
Mm,
And that goes for me and you on this show.
totally. Yeah,
So,
100%.
I mean, if we wanted to uh, talk about all kinds of like political ideologies, we could. I mean, there's a million different channels out there. It's just like there's a million different metal shows.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that before. You had magazines. So
Mm.
really the only people that were engaged in a correspondence with bands, and I'm not counting like fan clubs because fan clubs were full of people saying, "Oh, you're so great. Can I have a sticker? Do you have a sticker?"
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who are not bootlickers and they're like, "Your last album sucked. What do you have to say about that?" You know, so that was how they got their feet, but that was a totally different world. Now everything is not only is it online, it's instantaneous,
It's real time,
and
yeah.
and people say things without checking their emotions first.
Oh yeah, so
Putting
true.
pen to pad used to require advanced thought,
Thought. Yeah.
composing a letter, but now you just hop on X and
Mm.
just be like, I hate this shit. It sucks. And you get, 20,000 people that give it a like. And just it's like a very brainless activity. So some of the criticism that's being lobbied against these bans for the politics is mindless sheep activity. I hate to use a cliche term, but it's just people
It's
just
true.
not thinking for themselves.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true. I know. I completely agree with that. I also find it interesting when there's people like, and I just heard this a couple different times for a couple different bands, where I saw people say like, I didn't know Rage Against the Machine was political, or I didn't know Randy Blythe was political. I'm like, how can you not know that?
Yeah.
Especially with Rage Against the Machine. But they were like, we didn't know that. I'm like, so you obviously have never listened to the lyrics or paid attention
Yeah.
to the lyrics at all,
Right,
which
right,
is,
right.
whatever, maybe music's the thing for you, but it's just kind of like weird that just went right over their heads. For years, it's not like these bands suddenly did a political album. They've been doing albums like that so for a
Yeah.
long time. And Blythe
Hmm.
said the same thing where he's like, I've been like this forever. What do you think I've been singing about all this time? So
Hmm.
so it's just so funny that some of the fans are only coming to that realization now that some of their favorite bands are actually indeed political without them, without them realizing in the beginning. So I thought
I,
that
I
was
have a
interesting.
I have a theory about what you're saying, which
What's
is
that?
that I
What's the
think
theory?
that um, we've spoken before about how music has become a product that gets consumed. It's a consumable now.
Yeah.
It's almost like not even an art anymore. Not, I'm overgeneralizing,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously, but that's how it's been since, especially the advent of the streaming platforms like
yeah.
Spotify, right?
Hmm.
Where music is turned into a commodity. So I don't think people put themselves look at how people listen to music, and this is going off the beaten path, but
Yeah, no, it's okay.
the extremely casual ways of people listening to music where they just have it on in the background or like they just
Oh,
like,
yeah. It's
kind
like
of
very
listening to it.
passive. It's
Yeah,
like a
listening
passive
to it
way of
on a
listening.
phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, when you used to actually sit down and listen to it
It's an
and read the
album.
lyrics and
Yeah, yeah.
and not have outside distractions. And now, the buzzword of the 21st century is multitasking. So
Right.
everybody's doing a bunch of shit and listening to music.
That's
I,
true.
I mean, unless you were born with ADHD, I don't see how you can pay attention to it all.
Yeah.
But the
That's so
reason I'm
true though.
saying that is
Yeah, it's
because
so
I
true.
think people they're not coming from the same listening space that they were
Yeah.
in the past. And so I think they just there's less value, I think, attributed to music as the end product of someone's like blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. No, I
It's
think
just
that's
like, yeah,
100% true.
now, I mean, if AI is making fucking music that people are listening to, then that kind of
Yeah.
proves that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, 100. Oh, yeah. Well, and you bring up a really good point. You're right. There's a lot of passive listening because people will be on their phones like this, and I'm like the opposite where I want to just hear that music all by itself as loud as I could fucking make it.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I do when now I might be doing like cooking or doing something where I'm like because I told you I bake and whatever or when I'm driving or something, but I'm doing something that I'm not. I don't have to think, so that way I can listen to the music.
Mm,
So that's that's kind of what
mhm.
that's
Right.
that's how I zone into it. But that's a really strong point you bring up. But then also something else you mentioned about like if the artist is political by their nature, then that should be they shouldn't ignore that, right? And I also think just to kind of follow up on that point, that I don't think that also bands should suddenly necessarily become political if they're not if that's not in their heart. Just because
Hmm.
that's kind of a topic of the time.
Hmm.
Because a band like AC/DC is that kind of escape band where you don't want to deal with politics. You don't want to deal with maybe the news of the world. Now they
That's
still
right.
talk about death and life and things like that, but not in the sense of like politics or it's not so heavy, right?
Yes,
So a band like that, if they did a political album, everybody would be like, "Ugh." I think there'd be a lot of like, what the fuck are they doing kind of a thing. And
that's right.
so, I don't know what that would translate and what that would sound like. I'd be kind of curious about that. But that would be a big left turn that I think the core of their fans would be like taken aback and be like, that's not AC/DC, right?
That's right.
So I
That's
mean,
right.
so I mean, do you feel like that would be sort of disingenuous, wouldn't it?
I think AC/DC is an excellent example of a band that really shouldn't switch tracks to start spouting political ideology at this point.
Yeah.
Number one, they're too old and they've never done anything like that before, so it'd be easily ferreted out as a gimmick,
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
and then all of a sudden that cheapens the brand.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck that. Leave AC/DC alone.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
did a great job. Thanks, boys.
Yep.
We'll listen to the records for, hopefully,
Forever.
forever.
Yeah.
In researching this topic, one of the things that I came across um, is that people are now, when they get into bands, I didn't know that this was a thing. This is very interesting. People, when they listen, one of the things that's part of the listening, like when you learn about a new band that you're psyched about, is I guess younger people are like scanning everything, like researching everything they can find to find out what the band's political stance is.
Oh, really? No
Is there
kidding.
any kind of like hints that are in not just the lyrics, but
Huh.
like in the imagery? Um, do they have any members that have side projects that are like racist, have racist undertones?
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that apparently people do. Um, that's not something that I did.
I've never done that.
Well, we never had the tools, and it goes back to what I was
True.
saying earlier. Now
True.
with the internet, everything's at your fingertips. You can just type out a search command, and within 30 seconds, you have more information at your disposal than if you were to go to all of the libraries in your county and looked up and just rated the Dewey fucking Decimal System, get all of the books you could, and then even then you might not know everything that you know. Uh, but when all of the metal shows that I've ever been at, we never talked about politics,
Mm,
whether it was
yeah,
inside at the bar or out in the parking lot.
that's
The
a good point.
topics that were being discussed was pussy, how drunk the person got last before and how much vomit had to be cleaned up, and whose ass got kicked last weekend. And ad infinitum over and over again,
Yeah.
right? And then you had like guys like me that would just stand there like, that was it. There wasn't anything about like homophobia,
Yeah.
racism, sexism.
Yeah.
So we really live in a different age of metal
Yeah.
now. And some of it's very refreshing. Like I think people should be intelligent about it. I
I
think
think
that
so
metal has
too.
suffered
Yeah.
from a negative impression for far too long.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's totally true as far as like I think now you can be engaged. And maybe when I was younger, if I had access to the internet and all the resources we have now, maybe I would have done that. But without,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, without now the only thing I was interested in was like who were their influences and what other albums did they do? And so I was
Right.
always about the musical back history. I never really thought about politics until
Right.
I was old enough, I guess, to get a little bit more, interested in it. But it was something initially like I didn't give a shit about. I
Mhm.
didn't give a shit about Kiss's politics. Now I do.
Now you
But
do.
but before I didn't. So when I
There
was a
you
kid,
have
when
it.
Destroyer came out, all I cared about was Ace Frehley's guitar solos. That's all I gave a
That's
shit. That was it. I just want to be
you and
Ace Frehley.
everybody else.
I just want to be Ace Frehley. That's all I cared about. I just want to be
There you
him.
go.
I even yeah. So it was one of those things there. When you're a kid like that, that's the focus. And so, but then as you get older and you get more refined, I guess, and more educated, then you start to dive into it. But
Yeah.
I find that really interesting. I didn't know that they were doing this scanning thing where they're looking up the sort of the more of the backstory of the band. So, but I get it. I do
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah, and
Yeah. It
I
was kind
probably
of
would do that
relevant.
too. Well, I have to say with a new band, if I had any suspicions about, because I have done that because there's been some bands that come up that I kind of looked up a little bit more about them. I was like, oh shit, and then I found out some sketchy things about whoever,
Right.
and then
Right.
I shied away from that band for that reason because they were like racist or whatever their problem was. So yeah, I guess I am doing that now. I don't know if I go hardcore in every new band I come across, but I know if I have any suspicions, I'll look stuff up.
hmm
So,
hmm
do you do that too? As far as if you have any kind of like if they're they might be a white power band, so I'm going to kind of make sure they're
Some,
not.
yes. Well, something would have to tip me off.
Yeah.
One of the articles I read was a guy who was had become very adept at identifying uh, symbols and imagery of white power.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so he was writing about the black metal movement. And I guess there's a little sub branch of it called National Socialist Black Metal.
Yes, I know what you're talking
And
about.
it's a big deal now,
Oh,
right?
I
Because
know,
they're
I know.
inherently racist,
Yep,
xenophobic,
yep.
so forth and so on. And he basically was saying, I now know what, like, some of these bands use very arcane imagery that a lot of people don't recognize, but I do.
Yeah.
That's what, tips
That's
me
what tipped
off.
him off. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Uh,
So,
okay. Well, I think that was actually those are some of the bands I was thinking of. Actually, some of the black metal bands that did go in that direction. So
yeah,
there was some
yeah.
that I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Speaking
interesting.
of for different kinds of music, we talked at the outset of our show about how, distortion can refer to a lot of different
Oh yeah.
genres within, not just metal, but it can include, hard rock, and it can include punk and hardcore,
Sure.
right? Speed metal and all that. And one thing I also noticed about regarding this topic is that punk's a entirely different animal in that
Hmm.
respect because I think the punk crowds do give a big shit about the
Yes.
politics,
Yes,
right?
agreed.
And you
Yeah.
better not be going to like a Murphy's Law show if you have certain inclinations
Ideologies.
toward,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you're going to get your ass kicked. And so it's interesting because at those shows you would hear those types of comments and conversations,
That's true.
even
That's
though
definitely
the
true.
aggression level is similar, but it's a different approach.
It's very adjacent to metal that way. But you're right, though, that is kind of more of an expected thing.
Yeah.
So they kind of expect you to care about something. So yeah, and it's usually political. That's
Mhm.
absolutely true. Yeah, you're right. That's a whole different environment. All right. Do you have anything else to add to the conversation?
No, sir.
All right. So I guess we will move on then to music news. All right. Well, where's the news ticker sound? Don't you? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right.
Man, I can't keep doing that. You're gonna
I
have to
know, I
pay me
know,
for
I
it.
know, I know. All right. So, all right. So I think you saw my news update that the price for Vinnie Vincent's album went up a notch. Did you see that?
I I decided to watch some Vinnie Vincent videos.
Did you really?
Yeah. I
Why?
because I just wanted to, like I only heard a few clips of his,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm like, you know what? Before I judge this guy, let
Oh,
me,
okay. Fair enough.
and
And I'd already seen these. That's why I'm like, why? But
he's
go ahead.
yeah, he's first of all, he's a fucking phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah.
He's a million times better than I am. I have no problem saying that. Um, it's just his attitude that just
Oh,
boils the shit out of me, and it's
yeah.
just just reeks of self-righteousness, and
Ugh.
um, I just he he seems like he's a real pain in the ass to be around. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I saw a couple clips of him with fans and he was nice to the fans, but I mean, to be that kind of like demanding, um, I think he's just wanting, his last 15 minutes of fame with this price increase because
Oh,
who the hell is going to do that?
who's
Now,
doing that? Yeah,
it's
yeah,
an interesting arrangement that he's proposing because he's saying, I want to, if you buy this album, you also buy the rights to distribute it
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
but I don't know obviously the exact terms of that. Like, how much does the person who buys it get to pocket?
Right, right. Or how much goes back to him or whatever. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it reminds me of the Wu-Tang album, the
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
the last Temple of Shaolin or
yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
that was purchased by I think it was like $2 million.
Yeah, it was the tech bro that bought it, and then I think he had to sell it.
Shrekley,
Shrek, yeah, that's it. Yep.
guy, the pharma guy.
Yeah, the farmer guy. Yeah, yeah, not the tech guy. Yeah, the farmer guy. That's what I meant. Yeah, farmer guy. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
Yeah,
now he's
that's
the only
him.
one with the copy of that album. Yeah, we'd like to hear it, but I don't know. It's a weird arrangement.
That's a weird. Yeah, it is a weird arrangement. Well, yeah, and it goes back to his ego being like, when I saw $2 million then for this thing, so because he was doing those singles at first for like 225 bucks, and then now the whole album's for like 2 million,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know who's gonna buy. I'm waiting to hear the news about who bought this thing, if there's anyone that's gonna buy this thing.
Hmm.
So, and and some of the titles don't really. I don't know what a $2 million album sounds like, but with titles like Heavy Metal Poontang, Cock Teaser, uh, Ride the Serpent. I mean, he's got a phallic
Yeah.
thing going on here. So you know what I mean?
Which is
That
funny
don't
coming
sound
from
like
such an androgynous guy.
yeah, right. He looks like the aunt of Ace Frehley. So he looks like his aunt or something.
Really? I kind of
Kind of
thought he looked
sorta.
like Linda Richmond,
Oh well, that too. I mean, there's a lot of yeah. You can
wanting to
go number
start
one.
coffee talking shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where he's going with this or what he's expecting to get out of it, but it's going to be interesting to see if anybody buys this thing. And of course, there's no refunds, no returns or anything. So
Right.
he's got a policy for that too. So I'm just like, okay, well, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's some like crazy rich asshole out there that just has money to burn that maybe he'll just do it for shits and
Oh,
giggles for
yeah.
fun. Or
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
he's an old Kiss freak or something that will maybe pony
Right.
up the money or
Right,
something.
right,
But
right.
yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So we'll have to keep an eye. We'll keep our ears to the ground on that one.
Right on.
All right. So all right, now some sad news. Of course, Phil Campbell of Motorhead died. Of course, he was the last one of the last original members to go.
Yeah.
Lemmy and of course the original drummer. So yeah, he's gone now too.
I checked out a couple of songs from his latest album, which is, I think they're called The Bastard Sons.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did. I think a couple of his kids were in the band with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
How was
pretty
it?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Is he
enjoyed it.
singing or what? Is he singing on it or what?
I don't think I don't think so. I didn't
No.
I didn't look up the lineup. I just
Okay.
pulled it up.
Did it sound Motorheadish or just
Oh yeah.
something?
Oh
Did
yeah.
it? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Even some of like the vocal lines were uh, um Lemmy-ish,
Let me ish. Okay. Cool.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
look,
Sure.
you are who you are, and if you do it well, keep doing it.
Hey, he's one of the architects of their sound, so it makes sense
Yeah.
that he would.
Yeah.
That's kind of I was kind of curious if it still sounded Motorheadish or not. So,
Yeah.
which would yeah, that makes sense. Sad another member to go. Um, and did you see the controversy with Deicide, where the former guitarist Eric Hoffman is lashing out at Glenn Benton about not getting paid royalties and merch monies and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, they are going to be at each other's throats until they both descend into the pits of hell.
How much do you know about their kind of history there?
Oh, I mean, it's been going on since the Hoffman brothers exited the band or were kicked
Oh, is
out of
that
it.
right? Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't
Oh
that
yeah.
in touch with him.
Of course, it's two sides to every story. The Hoffman brothers have their own side about Glenn being a dictator.
Mm,
Glenn has his own stories, his own side about how they didn't cut it,
mm,
in terms of like practicing, having a professional attitude.
huh.
So, they wouldn't be the first ones, but what are you going to do? That shit, when they were in the band, that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
you should have raised it by, I mean, there's got to be like a statute of limitations
Yeah,
as to
yeah,
how
yeah.
far
Why not
back
have
you
this
can
settled by
go.
now? Yeah, why not have
Yeah.
this settled like a long time ago? That's a good point. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
So
Good luck to them, but
yeah, truth is usually somewhere in the middle. So I guess.
oh, definitely. And most people don't have a fucking clue about how to communicate effectively. So, and and I witnessed that firsthand when I was, jamming in the band, like the just the complete lack of social skills with some people.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't mean the
yeah.
people in the band with me. I mean like some of the secondary and tertiary people that would associate with us. I'd be like, man, how did you misunderstand that?
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
where did you get
Well,
that
I
from?
mean, I know a lot of it. I knew when I was in a band called Red for a while, and we had our we got along really well. We did really well, but then we had our Spinal Tap moments and whatever, and then the singer exited, and we had controversy between me and him, and we fought and whatever. But then we did this thing where a friend of ours had died, and he was in the band at one point too, and we decided to do a little tribute to him. So we reunited the original members back together, and then when the singer and I saw each other again, we hadn't talked for like I think it was like 14 years or something. And
Oh,
then as soon as we saw each other, we both just started apologizing. He was like, "Hey man, I'm so sorry that it went down like this," and I'm like, "I'm sorry I reacted like that." And we
no
kind of came
kidding.
together, and then we had this great show and everything. But it was one of those things that, in hindsight, I realized that a lot of it was our immaturity and our egos that really were getting in the way at that time. Because God knows I know my ego was part of the problem,
Oh,
and that was one of the in my response to what was going on with him, and it was one of those things where the maturity and the age I think was one of those things that really just made us kind of go, hey, we fucked up, and
right.
let's fix this, and we did, and it was fine.
Yeah.
So it's nice when bands can kind of do that too, and I think there's other bands that go through that where they kind of had that realization of like the youth and we had our heads up our asses and whatever.
Oh
So
yeah.
and there's another similar dynamic going on with Cradle of Filth right now because a couple of their members split, like their guitarist and his wife, who is like this the keyboardist and the singer, I believe. They're going after Danny Filth, so they're
Oh,
same thing. So
I hadn't
there's
heard that.
yeah, so there's some members of Cradle of Filth, and there's other members that have exited the band that have had the same kind of dynamic with him. So
Hmm.
I don't know how much truth there is to that, but they're saying like they weren't paid well, and the whole thing they were held back money, and
Hmm.
so I don't know. It's so tough to make a living with with these bands, but I think when you have a central figure like that, they see themselves as like the band,
Yeah.
and everybody else is kind of just supporting the band. So I think there's times when they kind of like, well, I'm kind of doing a lot of the work here, so I should be getting the lion's share of the profits.
Right.
But they don't necessarily talk about that with the band, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
so I think there's some of that that goes on too. But you know,
A lot of stuff goes unsaid,
yeah,
especially at the formation of a band, because everybody is high on, yeah, we're gonna kick ass, we're gonna do great, and nobody's thinking about the money.
yeah,
And
big
well,
time,
they are, but they're thinking like everything will work out.
yeah,
No, having a band where you're making money is a business.
yes,
So it needs to be run like a business. There needs to be kind of like employment contracts.
and communications,
Yeah,
and yeah, yep,
everybody's got to be on the same page about every aspect of the band's functioning.
yeah.
How often are we going to practice? What kind of behaviors are allowed or not allowed to practice? What kinds of shows we're going to play?
How money's divided, who gets
Yeah,
credit for what? Yeah,
how much
absolutely.
a t-shirt's going to be.
Yeah,
Exactly. And the big thing, like you just mentioned, is how's the money going to be divided? That should be one of the very first conversations
oh,
that takes
yeah.
place.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation, but like one of the most important conversations to have up front because there can
Yeah,
often be a lot of misunderstandings about that as far as what people think they should be getting paid and who should be getting what. So yeah, there's a lot of that.
definitely. If I ever went into another band situation, that would be one of the first discussions I'd have. If it was going to be any more than just like a casual jam situation where
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
were involved,
Right,
I'd
right.
say, let's get this out of the way.
Let's talk about it now and just figure it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't do that with Sarcophagy. I was so
well, we
I
didn't
was
do that
happier
right
than the
away
pig and
either.
stick.
Yeah. The bands I was in, same deal. No, we didn't do
Yeah.
it either. No, not
We were
until it
just
was
like,
like,
cool, let's just hang out.
yeah. And then after you're into it, you're like, how are we going to divide this? And it was like, then shit got real
I
after
know.
that.
Well, the good thing for us is that we didn't make hardly any money.
That's right. So there's nothing to really fight about. Hey man, we're gonna divide this $5 up, so everybody gets a
Right.
dollar.
Give
All
me my
right,
two
Jerome, I get a
dollars.
buck 50.
That's right.
So All right, so yeah, nothing to get pissed off about there. I saw Ghost is taking a hiatus from touring. Tobias Forge wants to spend time with his family, so I think there's a that's happening with a lot of bands now, where they're kind of pulling back a little bit and kind of going, look, especially as they get older.
Yeah.
I think that's happening more and more.
And I think that they've done a lot of work, Ghost.
Yeah,
I mean, they're one of the premier metal acts in the world right now,
absolutely.
one of the biggest names in metal right now. So
Yeah,
it's a very smart move because it allows him time to recharge, spend time with his family, with his kids, whatever. And
yeah.
then a year, 2 years from now, it'll be like the big comeback.
Absolutely.
And
Well, it also
it'll
gives, yeah, well, it
make,
gives the fans a break, like you said, because they've been releasing albums and touring a lot. And
yeah,
then when there's that little bit of a gap in there, it creates that like, oh, when are they going to release a new album kind of a thing, you know?
right, 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 right,
So
right. You don't want to burn people out.
yeah, yeah, good point. So yeah, cool. Now, speaking of albums and new and bands coming out and stuff, big surprise was Neurosis. So, because we talked about them a little bit, and of course, the issue with Scott Kelly, and
Hmm.
and everybody thought the band was done, and then out of fucking nowhere, they come out with a new album, an undying love for a burning world, which is such an appropriate title right now, and of course, the new singer and guitarist with Aaron Turner from ISIS.
Hmm.
So, which everybody's going, he's like the perfect replacement. So, and then of course they have a single out and the whole, this whole thing, and now they're coming back with a new show. They're going to be playing. We're going to be talking about the live shows a little bit later, and they're doing the Fire in the Mountains. So huge comeback for Neurosis here. So, were you a Neurosis fan or no?
No, no, I know next to nothing about him. Is the single any good?
Yes, it's incredible. It's really punishing and just kind of like it's all it sounds like them for
All
sure.
right.
And if you ever get a chance to see them live, they are probably maybe like the most intense band I've ever seen live, like ever. And I've
What?
seen, black metal, all kinds of, anything kind of thing. I've seen,
Really?
and I saw them. I've seen them 4 or 5 times now, and it's one of the most intense experiences I've ever had
No
because they
kidding.
do visuals and just their presence, and they're just like relentless. They just are they don't stop. It's just like this onslaught of what they do, and it's
Wow.
like and when you see them, it's like they grab you by the throat and they just don't let go, and they just beat the shit out of you for an hour and a half, and then they let you go and they feel like it. So
That's the way to do it.
I mean, that's the way it feels when you go see them. So I highly recommend seeing them live because you'll see
Okay.
what it's an experience. It's
Interesting.
better, yeah, it's better when they're not like in a festival or opening up for a big band because I've seen them at like Maryland Death Fest and I've seen them open from Pantera. And
Yeah.
when they're in those kind of circumstances, they can't do the stage show that they normally do with visuals and stuff. So it's better when they're headlining on their own and just doing their own tour because then you
Yeah.
get to see all these visuals and stuff that they do, which is part of what makes the experience so intense.
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah, it's just incredible. So just if you get a chance, just a huge fan of them, and they've got a new album out now, and they've
Cool.
replaced Scott Kelly with Aaron Turner. And then another other new release I see coming up, and I don't know how I feel about this, is Jeff Tate is releasing Operation Mindkind 3
Yeah.
without Queensryche.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, man.
how do you feel about that?
I got a pre-sale notification about that from Ticketmaster. Um, and I was like,
Are you a
what do you
Queensryche guy?
mean Mind Crime 3?
Yeah, yeah. Are you a Queensryche guy?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge Queensryche fan, but
Yeah.
enough of one to care.
Okay.
Um, I know that they don't get along,
Yeah.
and it just like so there'll never be like an actual Queensryche reunion
No.
because
Yeah,
I
Chris
don't.
Arma's out too. I mean, he's not coming back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know that I would pay money to see that. I mean, he's going to do the whole Mindcrime album. First of all, I didn't know that this was the final record in a trilogy.
Yeah. I didn't know either. I mean, that was
I
yeah,
didn't know he was doing all
I
that.
didn't know they were doing it. Yeah, I think even when the second one came out, everybody was like, "There's a second one." So
Yeah,
they didn't expect a sequel to it, and then the third one was like completely by surprise because I was like, "He's doing a third one, but without Queensryche."
it
So I'm just
makes no
kind of like,
sense.
did you hear this? There's a new single out called "Power" that he released. Did you listen to it yet?
No, I'm going to check it out though because apparently these efforts are kind of from the point of view of Dr. X.
Yeah, it's that's the story that's different. The other two albums were about Nikki and the nun. But this one's about, yeah, this one's from the perspective of Professor X. It's like how he
That's what-
became who he
Yeah.
is, and then
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of his origin story, I guess. I did hear the first single. Um, it sounds to me like Jeff Tate in a Queensryche cover band. And the
So
reason I
close
say
but
it,
no cigar.
well, the reason yeah, because if you listen to the guitars, it's like they're trying to capture the guitar work from the first album, especially,
Uh,
but it's not them. So it sounds like they're forcing it to sound kind of like that. That was just me and my impression of that. And I don't know. And I am such a huge fan of that first album. I wore out my cassette when I got it. I got a second cassette. I bought it on CD. I have it on digital. I've listened to that album more times than I can count. I wrote a screenplay based on that album
no
that
shit.
I presented to them. Yes.
To
Yes.
them?
To them. Yeah. Like I met them because I was doing a documentary about WMMR in Philly. Uh, it's about the Preston and Steve show. So I did a
Yeah.
documentary about that radio show.
Yep.
And one of the days I shot there at the station, Queensryche was there. They were touring. It was still Jeff Tate was still in the band. They were touring for American Soldier, and they were playing in Delaware at the theater there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So and I shot them that morning when they were playing at the station. So I got to talk to them, and I told them that I wrote this script because I had written the script by that time. And I said, "Can I send this to you guys?" And they were like, "Sure." And then I also had to get permission to use the footage that I shot. And this
Yeah.
is where my Jeff Tate story comes in because I don't like him. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. He is.
Oh,
Yeah, so I had to get approval from them to get to use the footage. And when I reached out because I had to go through him, he put me in touch with their lawyer, and they're like, "Okay, send the footage over." So I sent the footage over, and then I heard nothing. And then I said, "Hey, can you guys tell me what's up with the footage?" And they're like,
yeah.
We never looked at it. Can you send it again?" They did that to me 5 times, 5 times that I had to send that footage, and they kept jerking me around.
Wow.
And then he finally just said no. I'm like, why didn't you just say no? I mean, you
From the
guys kept
beginning,
asking
yeah.
me. I was FedExing this shit overnight. It was
Yeah.
costing me like $100 to ship it out there every time.
Right.
And then he just screwed me and acted like an asshole about it. I'm like, just could have
Damn.
just said no. Just say
Yeah.
no. Don't jerk me around like that. It's like they were just trying to push me away and get me to kind of give up. But I
Yeah.
really wanted really wanted to put that interview in there. I still have the footage, but I can never show it.
Damn.
Yeah, I can never show it because I don't have the permission to show it.
Right.
But that's my kind of story with him. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not a
Wow.
big fan. So yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry. Side story about Jeff Tate.
No, that's very interesting. I mean, it's grist for the mill, as
Well, a little bit.
far as understanding the current day thing that he's got going on. I didn't even know that that was happening.
Oh, I didn't either. I couldn't
I'm
believe
not
that when
even
they released it. I kind of felt a little bit insulted's not the right word, but almost in a way because I mean I don't have any skin in the game, but it just kind of as a fan I was kind of like like
yeah,
without at least without Michael Wilton and
right.
and Eddie Jackson being involved, they're still in the band. So I mean I know DeGarmo retired or whatever he's doing. And Scott Rockenfield's doing other things, but it was just kind of like, well, maybe at least do something with the band. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? At least get the
yeah.
Michael Wilton in there or something. So I
It's
don't,
part of the legacy of Mindcrime.
well, yeah. So it's just to do it without them is kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious how they feel about that.
I don't know what goes on in a person's mind to say, I don't care how monumentally important this is to so many people, but I just think they're a prick.
Yeah.
I can't stomach dealing with that. I mean, it's possible,
Yeah.
I'm not a fly on the wall, so I can't pretend to know exactly what those dynamics were. Maybe they got to the point where they literally couldn't stand each other anymore. And then you don't want to have people, clashing like that.
Well, it's the same thing with Skid Row and Sebastian Bach. They don't want anything to do with him.
There you go.
So, same deal. All right. So, any other music news? Did you have anything else?
Uh, I did. I want to plug one more thing here.
Oh, please do.
A week and a half ago, on Friday the 13th. we saw the
Ah.
release of Protrusion's The Last Separation. Now, Protrusion is a death metal band from Indiana,
Hmm.
and the guy who plays guitar, Kyle Chrisman, was our drummer on the Sarcophagy record,
Oh,
and
cool.
he's teamed up with these four other dudes, and well, I think no, it's a four-man band, but it's brutal as fuck. I ordered it on cassette and I got it, and it's badass. But
You
here's
ordered
the
it on, hold on, you ordered it on cassette?
yes, sir, I did.
Why? Was it only available on cassette?
Oh no, no,
Why did you order cassette?
because I haven't gotten a new cassette in about 25 years.
Do you have a cassette player?
I have a cassette deck, bruh.
What?
A dual cassette deck.
Get out. You still have those cassette deck? No way.
It's attached to my hi-fi. Fuck
What
yeah.
what made you want to buy a cassette? What was the just because you hadn't bought one for a while, that's all?
Um, it's nostalgia
Okay.
because that's what you did back then was you traded tapes and shit. And I
That's
just want to
awesome.
hold the tape. And honestly,
Okay, that's fair.
one of the aspects of it was like when I used to love opening a cassette and then smelling it. The fucking chemical smell from the J card, like the ink.
Yeah.
I go,
I know
oh
exactly the smell you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, and like every time I would smell it, I would just think of the word purple. I'd be like, ah, purple. It made me think of the color purple. It was nuts. But they must be using a different ink now though, because I didn't smell the purple this time. So, but
So you
so
bought a cassette because you used to trip on the smell of the,
yeah,
of the tape.
I wanted to see if it still smelled the same. But no, no, seriously, and and
Oh
also
my God.
it forces me to listen to it in a controlled environment, like we were talking about,
Oh, interesting.
where I can, it's not something I'm streaming and then I'm like standing in
Yeah.
line at 7-Eleven, like, yeah, I'll take that crumpet over there and I'll take that
Yeah.
donut, and the music is going at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Fuck
totally.
that.
Yeah.
But I would like to call all of your attentions to the final song on the album. It's called Anthropophilic Anthropophilic Anomaly.
Whew.
Because I have a guest solo on that song,
Oh, killer.
and it fucking rips.
Dude, yay. Awesome. Plug the album again and the band.
This is Protrusion is the band,
Okay.
and the album is called The Last Separation.
And
That's
the song you're soloing on?
it's anthropophilic anomaly. I just keep having trouble pronouncing that.
It's a mouthful.
Anthropophilic, yeah,
Okay.
anomaly.
Okay, that's very cool, man. And
Yeah,
can people find it anywhere else? Like is it on Bandcamp or is on
yeah, yeah. It's on YouTube, Bandcamp, and if you want to score a copy of it, there's not just cassettes, obviously, there's CDs.
yeah,
Um, I got it from Iron Fortress Records.
there you go. Okay.
So support Iron Fortress Records because they are a legit, uh, uh, you know, extreme music distributor,
Cool.
and they have a tremendous selection.
Awesome. Okay. Was Iron Fortress?
Iron Fortress Records.
Iron Fortress Records. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for the plug. Anything else in music news?
Let's see. Oh, yes. This week, WSOU, a
Oh,
radio station up in South Orange,
South Orange. Yep.
uh, they began a celebration of 40 years of metal this week.
Whoa, cool.
Every week for the next 40 weeks, they are going to play the top metal hits of each year.
Wow,
This is
that's really
89.5
cool.
FM. But you could also listen online too, like if you want to
Okay.
pull them up. So that's for our audience here. Um,
WSOU.
yeah, check it out. I don't know if it's WSOU.com or not. I haven't been on the
Okay.
website
Yeah, you
because
can find it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll find it.
yeah,
Oh, that's really cool. They're doing that for 40 weeks. Oh, that's killer. That's a really
yeah.
cool. That's going to be fun to listen to.
Oh,
That's
hell
going to
yeah.
be a lot of fun to listen to.
Hell yeah.
So they're doing chronologically from
86.
from 86. Oh, from 86 up till now. That's really cool, man. I got to
Right.
go back and check that out myself. I'm going to listen to that.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
You
All right.
heard?
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
That's
All right. Anything else on music news?
it.
That's it. Okay, awesome. All right. That means we're over to our album review of the episode. Which was your pick? It was, and you went with the classic, another classic, William. Suicidal Tendencies. How can I? Oh, there it is. Nice. Excellent.
Fuck yeah,
Excellent. There's
baby.
the shirt. Hold on for our audience. Oh, check that out, dude. Excellent.
Fuck
How
yeah.
can I? Yes. Okay. And the album is, of
How
course,
can I laugh tomorrow when I can't even smile today?
there you have it. Okay, so this was when you brought this up. You're hitting me with all this nostalgia, like when you did with the Megadeth album. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, because I hadn't really thought about this album for a while.
Yeah.
So, but then all of a sudden, you brought it back in my radar, and I was like, holy shit! So I had to go back and so it was bringing
Yep.
back. I had a lot of flooded memories, and I came back with this one. Why did you pick this one? What made you go with this one?
Same, exactly what you just said. I hadn't heard it in forever,
Okay.
and it absolutely rocked my world when I first heard it. And on SOU,
Uh-huh. Yep.
um, they played a medley of the title track, and that led into the second song that they played, which was not on this album, but um, it's on another record. It's Controlled by Hatred.
Yep.
And I just remember when they played those two songs together, I just went, I gotta fucking learn how to play that. And I recorded the whole sequence of it, and I would just rewind, play until I could fucking play all the riffs. And it was also what got me into like really getting precise with my triplets.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah.
Mike Clark is a fucking genius on the
Oh
rhythm
yeah.
guitar,
Big time. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he's one of my biggest influences. So I said, this album it's gotta get on the show.
Going back to the album here. So you said you kind of chose it because you just it hadn't been on your radar for a while and it was something that inspired you from the past, right?
And it's still good.
Oh, I know. It's one of those albums that when I kind of went back to it, I was like, this thing still holds up.
Yeah,
So I was like, yeah,
yeah.
this is really cool.
I mean,
Well,
it does sound old. It does sound like old thrash.
oh yeah, it's got a dated sound to it to be sure, but the songwriting and the songs themselves are something that, is still kind of like genre defined to this day.
Yeah,
At least I think because they were always one of those bands that it was kind of hard to put your thumb on them in some ways because they had such a combination of like rap and punk and metal and even like blues and with Rocky with the
rocking
guitarist.
solos.
Oh my God, so good. I mean, you had this kind of like virtuoso kind of guitarist in there too,
Yeah.
mixed also with the monster Robert Trujillo on bass, who's now, of course, playing bass with who's also who's the bass player for Metallica now, and his son is now the bass player
Suicidal.
for Suicidal. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
really cool. I love the way that kind of happened with his son in the band now, and then
it
he's a
is.
monster on the bass too. So he's like there, So you have these excellent musicians,
Yeah.
and then you have this kind of this crazy singer with Mike Muir.
Michael Mike.
Oh my God, where he's just like in your face and he's got
Yeah.
this attitude and like he's unavoidable and like between all these dynamics in the band, it's just kind of like this such an eclectic mix of stuff smashed together,
Yeah.
but at the same time it works.
It's a great chemistry of all of them together.
Oh yeah, and the attitude that they bring to the table is just kind of like, is just like one of those things that makes them such a unique band, I think. Because
Yeah.
there's nobody that sounds like them.
No, it's a very unique sound.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
saw
there's other
them.
bands. Well, there's other bands that are kind of in the same neighborhood. I would put Fishbone in kind of the same
Yeah.
neighborhood as them.
Yeah. They do
So
have the same kind of approach. Yeah.
yeah, something like that, or maybe just like bands that are kind of maybe a little more ska influenced and that kind of thing. But overall, though, I mean, just between punk and metal and like all the other stuff that they have mixed together, they're just them. There's nobody like
Yeah.
them. So, but
I got I saw them open for Megadeth about 10 years ago, and
okay.
I saw his son, playing.
Oh wow, I've never seen them live. How were they? How were they live?
They were fucking amazing.
Yeah,
They have, the new people, and Mike Clark is not in the band anymore, and
right.
I don't think Rocky George was there.
Oh, is that right? Okay, he's not in the. Okay.
I don't think he was. Um, they were really good. I remember standing there holding a guitar pick in my fingers and just fucking playing along. Um, but the first time I saw them was in '91 for the Lights Camera Revolution tour.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I remember telling the people I was going with, I said, because at that time, Suicidal, they were opening up for Queensryche
Oh wow, that's an
on,
interesting bill.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was the Queensryche. We were just talking about Queensryche. It wasn't Mind Crime. It was the one after that with Jet Set
Oh,
on it.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Um,
Empire.
Empire, yeah, and oh man, that was a fucking great show.
Yes, I saw them on the tour too. That's when they did Minecraft in its entirety.
Yeah, they did. That's right.
Yep.
I told the people that I was going with, I said, you cannot be late. Because
Mm.
one night, I remember this, I had a fucking nightmare that we showed up to the concert late and Suicidal had finished already.
Oh no.
And I was a much bigger Suicidal fan than a Queensryche fan. And I said, if you cause me to miss Suicidal Tendencies, we're going to have a fucking problem. And sure enough, I'm honking the horn, picking people up. Come on, motherfucker, come on. We fucking get to Nassau Coliseum, and we got out of the car, and they're like, Will, where are you going? And I'm fucking booking it. I'm booking it because we were already late. And I
Yeah,
fucking burst through the door. Take my fucking ticket. And I go
yeah.
running up the stairs, and I can hear them playing. And sure enough,
Oh.
I fucking go into the arena, and they were maybe about a minute into um, "You Can't Break Me Down." You can't
Oh,
break
yeah,
me down.
yeah.
And
Cool.
that was the song I wanted to see. I'm like, oh, at
Oh,
least I didn't miss the whole fucking song.
okay, that's good. That's good. That's awesome. How far into the set were they?
How far? What?
How far into the set were they? Like, did you miss a
Oh,
whole?
it was the first song.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
good. You
but
made
we were
just about a
cutting
time. Just about
we
that's good.
we cut it too close.
What
And
what what made you pick this album? This is their third album from 1988. What made you pick this one?
it's the most cohesive,
Oh, I think that's true.
you know?
I get that. Yeah, it's most them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Lights Camera is a great record, but it's
Yeah.
just I don't know, there's just it almost seems like they got a little poppier,
Oh, interesting.
you
Okay.
know?
Yeah, a little more
A
a little more
little
mainstreamy-ish.
more, yeah, and well, especially for the one after that. And I don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
what the
yeah.
name of it is, but I bought it and I'm like, this is the same band. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And Controlled by Hatred, I really like, but it doesn't have as many sublime songs on it as How Will I Laugh Tomorrow. It
Yeah, yeah,
almost feels like it has more of an underground feel, like before they really, really reached full
yeah.
X maturity
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
level.
Yeah.
And then the first Join the Army, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that because I was never like a skater.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was I think this one you make a good point about it's kind of like really solidly them as far as like the songwriting. They kind of matured into their style more here.
Right.
And they've more defined their style, I think, here too, where they really kind of nailed down what they were and what they were representing themselves as.
Exactly.
So yeah, so just because like I know Trip of the Brain and like Sorry were two of my favorite songs off of here,
Yep.
and those all and those songs though are very definitive of them. I mean, like that's one of those things when you hear it, it's like, oh yeah, it's them. It's obvious. It's it's obviously them.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then also like at the same time though, they do jump around a little stylistically, but
Yep.
still stay them the whole time. Like How Will I Laugh Tomorrow is kind of a nice longer song. It gets a little bit more built out. So there's stuff like that that they're doing that they're capable of writing longer, more thoughtful stuff. And then they write something just with the attitude like just punching you in the gut with like Surf and Slam and stuff
Right.
like that, where it's just kind of like total attitude.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Uh, I One of the standouts for me is Pledge Your Allegiance.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I
And it's
gotcha.
because of the chorus, and it's just like that chant.
Mm.
They played it when I saw them 10 years ago, and I just remember screaming ST, ST, just fucking going nuts. And then at the end, everybody's going suicidal,
Yeah,
suicidal. It's badass.
right on.
So
So
yeah, I really dug the album, man. I mean, it when I listened to it, it literally brought me back into my childhood bedroom with all my bedroom furniture and my
yeah,
first
yeah.
guitar and my first amp, and I'm sitting there like, I got it. I got it. was a joyous moment.
I love those. I do love those kind of nostalgic albums to be sure. And this is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely a great pick. Yeah, I love their mix of just like punk and thrash and just and all those sort of early influences. But yeah, it's unique and it's all them. So all right, so
Well,
good choice, man. That was a cool
yeah.
one. Yeah,
One
thanks for
of
that.
one of the one of the things I kept thinking is like the guitar tone. Like, and I've noticed that one of the main out of all the notes of all albums that we've been discussing, the one comment that keeps getting made over and over again is
Hmm.
supreme fucking guitar tone. Just amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
totally. Yeah,
all of these albums that we've been discussing, like they really did a nice job just tweaking the guitar tone just perfect.
yeah.
And so it's not harsh, yet it's not too mellow. It's fucking right in the
But
pocket.
it's also distinctive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can hear the guitarist and know almost who's playing it sometimes with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that's the signature of a band like this, where they have that uniqueness to them, so they don't sound generic, like where they just blend in like so everybody else. But the guitar tone and that's part of it, though, is that because you
Yeah.
talked about Carl from Nile, how he has such a distinctive guitar tone because of the string gauges and all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
that's that kind of stuff that does stand. That's why they stand out. So that
Exactly.
doesn't just they not sound like just like everybody else on the planet because they have those kind of more intricate details about what they sound like and how they
That's
play
right.
and
You
and
know
everything have in
exactly
their
who you're
signatures.
listening to when you hear it.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right. So very cool. Anything else to say about Suicidal?
Oh, it's it. ST,
ST
motherfuckers.
baby, Suicidal for life. So check out yeah, so check out well pretty much anything from their first like I don't know 5 10 albums really or 5 6 albums. So but yeah, but this is definitely one How Will I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. So classic album.
Right on.
All right. Moving on to the Mystery Band. All right, my turn. So this is my turn, and the band I'm turning you on to this week is a black metal band. I don't know how are you how are you on black metal? Are you into it? Not into it? Where
A
you land?
little bit.
Okay, all right,
I dig some of the riffs.
okay. I want to challenge you a little bit with this one. It's a band called Black Braid. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've
okay,
heard of them, but I don't know
okay,
if I heard about it from you or
okay. Not for me because I haven't mentioned them yet. So this is my first
okay.
time mentioning them here in the show.
All right.
I think. Anyway. So, but yeah, I believe this is the first time.
Do tell.
The third album is the one I would start with, Black Blade 3. It's actually a solo project. It started off as a solo project, a guy named John Krieger, who goes by now that's his sort of name, but then his stage name is Sagaga. Hold on, I'm gonna hold on. Let me get this right. It's Skagasawa. Skagasawa. There we go. Skagasawa. That's
Uh,
his stage because he is. This is what makes them unique. Is this is based on Native American lore. So he's a Native American. His name comes from a Mohawk, meaning the witch hawk. That's what
oh my God, that's so cool.
that's what his name means. Yep. And then it's his solo thing, and he does kind of everything in the band. But then of course he tours with like musicians and stuff like that. But he's singing, he's playing guitar. I believe he does all the other all the
Oh,
music
hell
work on it.
yeah.
Yeah, so check it out. And what makes them interesting is that they're black metal to be sure, and there is the distinctive black metalness to what he does.
Uh,
But there's definitely a unique aspect to the music, and there's a lot of Native American influence within it, which makes
oh,
it
you're
really
kidding.
fucking interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you mix that lore and the old kind of the musical influences of Native Americans, and you throw that in with black metal. It's kind of that same eclectic mix that Zeal and Ardor had, but just on the Native American side instead of like
Yeah.
gospel and stuff like that. So,
Uh,
but yeah, it's this crazy cool mix. And it's really unique. I thought as far as like it's going to be familiar to you because it sounds like black metal, but then when you start to listen to it, you're like, oh wait a minute, there's different stuff in here.
okay.
So, and he's not like particularly overt about it, and the way he blends it in sounds natural to like it belongs there. It's not like he just kind of shoehorned like some Native American stuff in there and feels like it doesn't. It feels like out of place. Like
Hmm.
it's like he's doing it for the sake of doing it. It
Yeah,
makes sense within the context of the rest of the music.
that's hard to do.
It is. So check that out. Black Braid 3 is the
All
album
right,
I recommend. Okay, so
I
check
will.
that
I
out.
dig Native American folklore, uh,
Oh,
chants, and things like that. I dig that stuff.
then I think you're gonna like this.
Cool.
So yeah, so check that out. Third album, Black Braid 3 would be the one I would start with. And then yeah, take it from there.
Okay.
So it's
Right
really
on.
interesting. Yeah. And then
Thank you.
we'll see what you think of it, in the next episode if you get a chance to listen.
While we're talking about mystery bands,
Yeah.
I checked out the LSD that you referred me to.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought they were very good.
Did you like
And
it?
I was tripped up by that singer, man. What
Stanley.
Stanley? I thought his name was Jimmy, but yeah, it just
Yeah.
like you weren't lying, dude. He walked up there like he just stepped out of the Port Authority bus terminal. And probably smelled like it too.
He did smell like it. I've seen them. I
Wow.
saw them live like 4 times, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, I know what that man smelled like. And yes, that's what he smelled
Wow.
like. Well, more
Well,
like beneath the station, but yeah.
he channeled some major fucking Scott Whalen
Right?
good
Yeah,
singing.
totally.
Um, and the music was good, and I could see why it got criticized as kind of
Yeah.
like schlocky.
A little bit. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's
But
some flockiness in
I
there.
mean, shit, if a band like that came out now,
Oh,
so maybe their lack of success beyond the first album was short-lived because they were in the wrong time. I don't
yeah.
know,
It might have been a wrong time for them, but
but that
yeah.
was a good pick too. All right, I'll check
Okay,
out
cool.
Black
All right.
Braid.
Black Braid, and then the album is Black Braid 3.
Right on.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the last topic, and that would be live shows and tours. Stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
I have tickets to go see Bleed from Within on they're doing the tour behind their album Zenith. So I'm seeing them
Ooh,
here. So I'm seeing them here soon.
when's
Um,
this?
what's that?
When's this in April?
April, yeah. So they're coming up. Let me see who else is on tour. Wolf Mother is on tour this summer.
Oh wow.
I have tickets for that too. Then there's also the Aftershock Festival, which is coming up in October, which has a pretty crazy lineup.
I looked
Uh,
at it.
yeah, did you take a look at that? What'd you think?
Well, Wolf Mother is on it.
Oh, are they? I didn't realize that.
I
Oh,
think it's
cool.
Wolf Mother, or it's either that or some other festival that I looked up. But Aftershock was interesting when I looked it up because it's billed as a rock and metal festival.
Yeah.
Right? So a couple of like I'm not into um what who's the headliners?
Yeah, it's like Limp Bizkit's one of the headliners. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. So
but
yeah, not sure who else is on there, but I know they're one of the headliners. Who else did I see in there? Oh yeah, well, Tool, Pierce the Veil, My Chemical Romance,
My Chemical Romance. Yeah,
Queens of the
I'm not.
Stone Age, Wu-Tang Clan is playing it.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's kind of Danny Elfman for some reason is playing it.
there's a lot of interesting like Melvins,
Yeah,
Helmet,
yeah,
Municipal Waste,
right.
Buckethead. The
Down.
fucking Cro-Mags are playing it.
Yeah, Cro-Mags. That was a big surprise.
And how could you put Cro-Mags on the same bill as fucking Pentagram? Holy shit. Then there's also Brujeria,
Right. Yeah.
and there's also Cradle of Filth,
Yep.
Suicidal Tendencies,
Yep.
and Kill Switch Engage. This
Yep.
is this is fucking crazy. Body Count.
Seven
Fucking
Dust.
Ice-T's Body Count. Seven
Yep.
Dust. Queens of the Stone Age.
Coal Chamber. Let's see who else is on. Yeah, I mean this lineup is insane.
The only
Atreyu,
thing,
like, and then they have old school like Atreyu's in there, like out of nowhere. Corrosion of Conformity's on there. Soulfly. So yeah,
yeah,
so I think Max Cavalera is going to be pulling off double duty there with I think he's
right,
playing like
right,
three
right,
different
right.
bands there. But yeah, so I mean like it's Toadies for some reason is in there too. So
I don't know.
yeah, it's such a weird like out of left field. They have some really weird bands in there, but
I don't get it. And that's what I was going to ask you what you thought about that. Because, like I said, it's billed as a rock and metal festival, yet they have Wu-Tang,
yeah,
Cypress
right.
Hill, and Public Enemy.
Yeah.
What the
So
fuck?
I know. So and then mixed with like death metal, and I mean it's kind of like a crazy Lollapalooza in some ways. So it's like a kind
Yes.
of eclectic mix in a way. But if you look at the lineups, all the bands kind of go together though.
Mm.
There's kind of a stack there where kind of like all the punk bands are together and all the
Yeah.
you know. So they're kind of at least grouping it that way. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah,
Cool.
what an eclectic mix. So aftershockfestival.com is the website coming up in October.
It's Sacramento, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah. We have Ginger is going on a North American headlining tour with Crystal Lake. And then that's coming up too. Like I said, Wolf Mother is on tour this summer. I have tickets for that in, I think, July here in Portland. And
Nice.
then did you look at the lineup for Fire in the Mountains, which is the festival in Montana?
I did not.
Oh, dude, this festival looks super freaking cool. Like
Uh,
this is going to mark the return of Neurosis, so this is the show they're coming back to play.
uh,
But then they have all these other big like bands on there, like Enslaved is on there. Let me see who else is on the lineup. Let me think. Psy, there's Yob,
oh
big
wow.
yeah. So bands like that are on here. Baroness. So they have these weird, this kind of really again, kind of crazy lineup. But the thing that I find interesting about Fire in the Mountains is that it's on like I believe it's on a Native American reservation because
Oh,
it's on the Blackfeet Nation. That's where it's kind of listed as far
wow.
as the location. So this is on like a Native American site, which is super
Okay.
interesting. So because that show would be super cool to see like in the mountains in Montana, and then
Uh-huh.
you got this environment that's just beautiful out there, and then you're seeing all these crazy bands that
I know.
So I mean, what a crazy show that is.
Those people are going to have the wildest group of motherfuckers show up for this thing and then go crazy, and then all of them are going to leave. Nuts. Be like, did you see that? What happened over there? Shit was crazy.
That's true. That you're right. That it's going to come in and like I wonder how many people they must get a lot of people coming in from out of state to see that
They
show.
have to.
Because there's like 30 people that live in Montana. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like there's like a big metalhead community and like,
Right.
so I
Uh,
mean, they must be coming from neighboring states and stuff. That's the only thing I can think of.
oh yeah. I'm sure it's a mostly Midwest phenomenon.
Yeah. So
There's a death metal festival in the Dakotas called Slam Dakota,
oh, I didn't hear about that.
and you wouldn't think that that would have, a lot of people, but a lot of people road trip to a location like that.
No shit. Okay, cool. That's in South Dakota, you said.
I think it's South Dakota. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I just hope that with what they're going to do there, that some of the money goes towards the reservation.
Yeah, me too. I hope so
You
too.
know?
Yeah. So, well, I know that there's other shows being booked on reservations. I actually worked with a guy who was one of the bookers. He was a Native American gentleman, and he was arranging some metal shows, and I believe in a reservation in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. So
Oh
he was
well.
getting all these punk bands in there, and like black metal and other metal bands and stuff. And so he and I talked a lot. So he was really doing a lot of cool stuff there. So
Nice.
they're doing shows like that on Native American reservations, which is freaking amazing. So I think it's
That's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other shows to mention? Any other tours to mention?
No, that's it for this week.
That's it. Okay. All right. Well, that I believe, unless you have anything else to add, that will be the end of our episode.
I think we did a good job.
I think we did do a good job. Yeah. I think we
Had
talked
fun.
about the metal, don't you?
We talked about all the metal and
We talked about
metallic
all the
things.
metal. All the metal is out there now, thanks to
Yeah.
us. We're doing the Lord's work. With putting the metal out to everybody.
In times, we
All right.
bring the light.
All right, and that will wrap us up. Thank you for joining us. Please share our podcast with anyone that appreciates heavy music. Be sure to visit our social feeds and drop us a comment with your thoughts on the podcast.